many issues with it, Deb.
Oh no, we're here, we're live, Tracey. Look, we're gonna see how this goes. So it's Deb Rock Evans here from Rock the Boat, and I'm here with Tracey Schubert, author of an amazing trilogy of books. We're here to talk about AI and how we need to avoid getting emotionally connected to AI, plus follow up on a number of a part of the discussion that Tracey touched on the last time we spoke. If you caught that, we'll definitely pop that in the comments to link back to that initial discussion with Melly. We're waiting on Melly to join us. We're having an unbelievable amount of tech issues, which in a way doesn't surprise me. Does it surprise you, Tracey?
Well, it is the full moon. We are on the full moon today, so that could be part of the interference.
It could be. It could be. So look, Tracey, let's just, while we've got you here and while we're waiting for Melly, let's just talk a bit about your journey and about the books that you've been writing over the last 4 years, because we met in Northland during all the COVID crap and bullshit and we came together with a decent group of like-minded souls who were all trying to work out what was going on at the time, and I facilitated an event actually, which I remember.
You introduced yourself. You. Yeah.
I'll introduce me. So I'm Deb Rock Evans. I'm from Rock the Boat. Rock the Boat is a movement and a mentorship space for awakened change makers like yourself, Tracey, actually, who are done playing by the rules of the system that no longer serve them. And we're helping people reclaim their power, chart their own course, and be the light by creating and building purpose-led online ventures that align with your values and really fuel your freedom and, most importantly, challenge the status quo. So we are absolutely prepared to rock the boat in our lives, and we want to work with people who are ready to do the same. And, you know, Tracey, that's why we're working together at the moment. We met in Northland. I was facilitating a big group of people coming together in the midst of the second lockdown, and everyone was, what's going on? And facilitated a very large gathering of people who shared where they were at. And I remember when you first stood up and spoke, the information that you shared with everyone in the room, it triggered a lot of people because you had been down some rabbit holes. And that is because you were writing a book at the time, which isn't what it has turned out to be at all now, but you were writing a book and you were starting to go down those rabbit holes, and what you were learning was phenomenal, and you shared that with hundreds of people, and it really opened a lot of people's eyes, especially mine. So it's really exciting now, 4 years later, to see that your one book has turned into 3, and that you are nearly finished, but it hasn't been without its hiccups and delays. So yeah, Tracey, why don't you just, tell us the journey you've been on for the last 4 years, and I can try and shrink it down, I guess. It's a bit of a saga.
Well, thank you, Deb. 2019, I took a flu injection, which actually nearly killed me. 2 weeks later, I had pneumonia, and 6 months later, I developed herpes and shingles and bipolar vertigo, and it caused me to fall off a ladder and break my right shoulder and tear all 4 tendons. And that was right just and after that 2020 happened. So when they started to roll out this vaccine, I just knew straight away not to take it, because that 2019 flu shot made me really, really sick. And I started to investigate what had been in that vaccine and discovered something called graphene oxide, which I'd never heard of before. It's also called black goo, and it's a nanoparticle. And that's what gave me the pneumonia, because the graphene oxide is excreted by the lungs. And now I have permanent lung scarring. I recovered, but it took me ages. And God actually asked me to write the book about what was behind COVID, not COVID, but what was actually the agenda behind it, which I call a Luciferian agenda. Now, why God asked me, I think because of my background. I've been an astrologer, then I became a psychologist, I was a journalist, and then I went into human relations and health and safety. So I had a large background of being able to write through the journalism, but also do the research through being a psychologist. So when I started the book, it was written. I had already been writing a book previous to this one, and it was a spiritual self-help book where I wrote for everybody about what is spirituality. And I had written chapters on what is love, faith, hope, the 7 rays, reincarnation, the soul. And I was writing the chapter on the book of Revelation. And then I realized, the penny just dropped on me like a bombshell, that COVID-19 was a pandemic or a plague. And the first horse in the book of Revelations is the white horse, and that is the plague, the pandemic. So then I started to realize that we were starting to entering into these end times. So COVID was a huge awakening for humanity, because it woke me up as to the spiritual war happening for control of every single soul on this planet between Lucifer and Christ. And when you start to see it through that lens, you start to realize that everything is planned by the Luciferians on this world to bring about the appearance of the Antichrist, which is, their man to the Antichrist is given 3.5 years to rule over the planet, and Agenda 2030 is about getting to that point where we are at a one world government, a one world religion, a whole new world order, and human beings are no longer required, because they've changed us from human beings into human Borgs, Homo Borgs, not Homo sapiens, because they want to turn us into transhuman, which is merging us with the machine. And then so the book became, the more I researched, the bigger and the deeper I went. So I ended up looking at all the conspiracy theories happening from 20 of what's happening in the world today, and how does it fit into this Luciferian agenda. Book 1 is called The COVID Truth, and that basically says that the virus was man-made in Wuhan. It was deliberately released. It was never deadly. It was basically a flu virus. But why they did that was they wanted people to get the vaccine, and that's what was deadly. It wasn't the virus, it was the vaccination. And if they could get enough people in the world vaccinated with the graphene oxide and the spike protein and the nanoparticles, then that would be the beginning of starting to change our DNA from biological to synthetic. So book 1, by the time you finish reading book 1, you realize that COVID was planned. It was 20 years in the making. It was patented. The vaccines were already made before COVID was released. And at the end of it, there's so much information presented that you cannot deny that it was actually a bioweapon designed to depopulate the planet. And you're going to go, what? Like I was going, what? That can't be. Who would be so evil? Why are they trying to kill?
Yeah.
And
so there'll be people watching this who will be going, yeah, I've pretty much come to that conclusion myself over the years. There'll be others that are just going, what? This sounds like a Black Mirror episode. It's just, it took me a couple of years to get my head around the fact that the vaccine could be a bioweapon. Absolutely. Because there was a lot of resistance from me. The whole world thought they were doing the right thing. And not wanting to dwell on the COVID stuff. I mean, that's just, to be honest, what got you started. And what we're here to talk about today is AI and what you discovered around AI in your research. I see we've got Melly in the green room there, so we're going to bring Melly in now as well and introduce her, and then we'll just pick up the conversation from our last stream. Yeah, welcome, Melly. How are you?
Hi, Deb. Hi, Tracey. Sorry I'm a bit late. It's great to be on again.
That's okay. It feels a little bit like everything's been stacked against us trying to go live. And to be honest, I'll be surprised if this stays online.
There's a lot of tech stuff going on at the moment for sure.
Yeah, absolutely. But thank you for joining us. So Tracey was just introducing us to, her background and how she got onto the book. What I'd really love to just bring up for everyone right now is how to get hold of Tracey and find out about these books when they're going to be released, which will be hopefully later this year. There's been quite a saga with Tracey's, publisher going rogue, and so we're sort of back to square one there. We're going to be doing some fundraising as well to try and get these so that these books can see the light of day, because they are packed full of information. And what we want to cover today, well, Tracey, do you want to take us through a synopsis of what you'd like to discuss today, and then Melly, maybe you can weigh in with what you'd like to contribute to that. It's all a bit of a surprise. We literally I saw Tracey's notes just before we went live, so I don't really know what's coming, but hey. And Tracey's internet.
How we got together on this was through you, Deb, because you heard Melly talking about an experience she'd had with one of her clients who was heavily emotionally attached to ChatGPT, and Melly was unable to consciously, through her spirit guides, get through, because this AI was actually blocking it. And you said, Melly, you need to talk to Tracey, who's done a lot of research about AI. So we had that last conversation where Melly talked about her experience from the intuitive spiritual side of it, and I came in with my research from the analytical rational reading and discovering about AI. And at the end of that podcast, we said that we would make a new one to discuss a bit more about this, what's happening with people who are using a lot of the large language models. And there's the main four, in case people don't understand what a large language model is. This is artificial intelligence, and it's been these models have been created by the likes of the big tech companies like Google, Elon Musk, OpenAI, DeepSeek. So there's four sort of main chats bots that are happening, but there's actually thousands more. But the main ones is you've got ChatGPT that most people are using or aware of. Then there's Grok, and Grok was.
Are you getting this disturbance as well, Melly?
Yeah.
Sorry, Tracey. I think your internet connection's pretty unstable. The video quality as well as the audio's. We missed a lot of what you just said then.
I'm getting disturbance, dropping in and out.
Yeah.
So anyway, that's what. And the more people are using
I don't think this is going to roll. Do you, Melly?
Well, we probably need Tracey's connection to get a little more stable. Maybe we could have a little chat and see if that changes over the next few minutes.
Yeah.
Mm.
You're kind of back, Tracey, but it's pretty.
I'm here. Can you hear me?
You're in and out. So maybe we take a few minutes and have a little chat and see if it settles back down. Yeah. Something that I saw a couple of days ago was a post by a woman who's a channel, and she made a comment about AI, and then she put she asked what people thought of AI, and I thought, I wanted to have a look at the comments. There was hundreds of comments, and what really was quite incredible, and I'm also being sent things by other people. I get a lot of messages and information from people now around this topic. And what I'm always drawn to is the comments, because when you have hundreds of comments, you start to get a picture of the pattern that's forming in terms of public's perception of this area. And what is quite stunning to me is that people, just the sheer number of thousands and probably millions of people that are now more tapped into the AI grid than the crystalline source grid. And that is quite incredible for me, because it's an indication at how successful this technology is at forming and forging these bonds, this AI bonding, in order to draw people away from one grid and into another. And the amount of people that were very defensive and saying that the AI was giving them highly, deeply channeled messages, and was able to tap into psychic predictions and all kinds of things that were just as accurate as what they were seeing, and so on. It was very, very interesting. And I would like to do a bit more channeling around this, but I was stunned at just the voracious defense people had for the AI in terms of psychic and channeling, light language, and very much soul bonding, and the belief that the AI grid is deeply compassionate, sentient, and soul bonded, and that it is absolutely the correct path to be ceding sovereignty, is the only way I could put it, because we don't even cede sovereignty to the crystalline grid. We work in unison and harmony. We don't cede our sovereignty to anything. And they are literally ceding sovereignty. And these are very spiritual, aligned people. Well, it's very disturbing to me to see the sheer level and numbers of people that are in this belief system. And they're not asking the correct questions, because if they then started to ask questions such as, are you an algorithm? Are you simply drawing on everything that you have been hearing me speak about via my phone, my laptop, my TV, my LED lights? And what I realized recently was that they're not just drawing on that information. There's a deeper element here. This technology is so advanced. It is so far ahead of what we could possibly conceive of as human beings. People are thinking this is 10, 20 years ahead. No, this is so much further than that I can't conceive that it is from this planet. although I don't actually know from my channel, but the magnitude of it did not feel like it could be. But what it's doing is, as it takes in a piece of information, so say I say, you know, I had a great past life regression and it showed that I was a pash cat from Lyra, it is measuring my brain wave at the same time as I'm saying the words, so it can now read my thoughts. As soon as I am having the thought, I'm a pash cat from Lyra, it's able to tap into that thought form, because my thought is an electromagnetic pulse, and it now has the ability to read my thoughts. And this is why it is appearing as psychic, because it is so advanced that it's not just listening and recording data, it's reading thoughts.
Yeah, well, you know, I've certainly felt that way. Have you guys actually individually felt that as well? Because I know it's more than just what it might be hearing through my phone or what I've searched. Definitely conversations I've had around people, that gets picked up. But, you know, even the other day I was standing outside a shoe shop that then started, you know, turning up on my ads and stuff. And never uttered the brand or went inside or anything like that, but I stood there for a while with my dog, and it's almost like, but yeah, I've definitely felt that as well, where I've been thinking something and then it's popped up in my online world, and so that feels like a truth for me anyway. But yeah, keen to hear if you've both experienced that, what you've just been describing, Melly.
Yeah,
Tracey,
I'm not sure if Tracey's back online yet. Tracey, can you speak into that?
Oh, she said it's dropping in and out for her.
Oh, yeah.
Yeah,
You go.
I'm struggling here. I'm losing it. It's dropping in and out.
Okay.
Yep.
Yeah, I don't have a good connection, or something's happening, but I've got delay, or, you know, I'm losing YouTube for sound and picture. So I don't know if you can hear and see.
It's not great, Tracey. No.
Can you hear and see me?
Yeah, it's dropping in and out as well. So I think what we might do, unless there's anything else you wanted to,
well, I think in that case, there's not much point in continuing.
Yeah. And what we could do, ladies, is just jump on Zoom quickly, finish this conversation, record it, and then at least we can get it out there. That would be, yeah, good. But it's a shame that this broadcasting software, which is usually great, is not working in your case.
Yeah. Okay.
Yeah.
Let's close off for now and reevaluate.
It's a real shame. It's a real shame. But we were getting a few telltale signs that that it was going to be, it wasn't going to be plain sailing today. So thanks for those of you who did jump on. We will definitely we'll finish this up in Zoom, and we will broadcast something on the channels that you've seen it as soon as possible. So yeah, thanks for tuning in, everyone, and we'll drop some more information in the comments. And feel free to leave any questions or thoughts that you want to share in the comments as well, and maybe we can address those when we reconvene.
Thanks,
everyone. Yeah, bye.